What up, everybody? Pyro Slays Music. If you're just joining in on the stream, we're checking out the newest Propagandhi album. It's been a little bit since we've done a fun midnight release, and we're gonna check it out. It's midnight right now. Spotify wouldn't let it load for like the first 2 minutes. We're in now. Pretty stoked. The first couple singles were fantastic. But I did not listen to the final one that was released. So that just adds some more fun for me. So the first one, we have an intro and then 2 tracks that we've heard. Let's get into this. I'm stoked. We've done a lot of reactions to this band over the years, sent through our Patreons and our community members, and they've really grown on me. So yeah, Guiding Lights is the first track. Let's get it. Interesting opening. So this is going to be so much harder than I thought because there's no lyrics out yet because the album just dropped and it's a fucking Propagandhi album. I'm going to be struggling through this entire album trying to figure out what the hell's going on, especially since this instrumental was so good. Like, it distracted me from the lyrics several times. So I'm only getting bits and I'm taking guesses, but it almost seemed like he was talking about us putting up, like people up on pedestals, putting people in power that are supposed to be guiding lights, and they're not. They're vile, and it almost has kind of a sludgy sound, like how there's sludge metal. This is sludge punk. Also, the mixing was fantastic here. The instruments popping into one or both ear, it was just like moving around quite a bit. I love to see that. It just shows some like passion, at least for me. Like, I love when they put in the work to make it not sound mono. You know what I mean? It's just bouncing around. Again, this one's a little bit more slower. The vocals are kind of coming from a distance a little bit. And something I did find a little funny, kind of, there's obviously not like a chorusy part, but like there's a part that just kind of hit a little more like a chorus than the rest of the song. And when that happened, I actually felt the way the vocals were and coming in, it kind of, and I'm not saying this as an insult by any means, okay? But a little bit, how like butt rock and roll hits sometimes with like stuff like this, it kind of like was like that. But then when it was swung out to like the verses and whatnot, the vocals it almost had more of a hardcore feel from the distance he was singing from the mic. So I was really happy with that, because my first feel, I was like, oh, please God, don't be like trapped or something. Yeah, obviously that's not going to happen, but I didn't settle down. Settle down, chat. I was just saying, for a second, I was worried. And then I was like, okay. Thank God. So I enjoyed that thoroughly. Honestly, that might be, I don't really have a whole lot of music of this style that I can compare it to. But I will say, I just listened to that self-titled Alice in Chains album a while back, and that's what kind of sort of reminded me of that a little bit, in a more of a punk style, obviously. So that's why I kind of went with the sludge feel, just because of that vibe from that album. It reminded me of that a little bit. At Peace, we've heard this one, and Cat Guy, so let's get into it. I'm pretty stoked. At Peace stuff.
Every bear, lick every boot, make every appeal. Prostrate yourself to the killing machine, spare yourself from its wheels. Better them than me, roll so seductively off your tongue. Your reckoning has begun. I'm really fine and parties charting on my face with a Sharpie. Excuse me, sir, this is an Arby's. I am at peace. I am at peace. Though presently convulsed with grief, I am at peace. Some days I'm scared I'm gonna die, or even worse, I might survive. I try to keep these words in mind. Nothing worth having comes without some kind of fight. Gotta kick it the darkness to the bleach day.
So I just think everything about this song is really badass. The lines, the delivery, the guitars are just everything I want. Okay, the lyrics are there's some stuff there going on that makes you think about your mortality in general. Just like it gets you contemplating. But this song, in my opinion, was much more of a badass. Like it feels just fantastic to listen to. Whereas the next track, Cat Guy, is what made me think. And it's hilarious because I feel like he's subtly taking a shot in the song at people who sit there and spend their days pondering what ifs. And what ifs are my favorite. It's my favorite. I like this song, the what if in the song had me thinking for like a week after the song came out and trying to figure out the problem that he's laying before me. And I was kind of ticked off by it because at the end, you know, obviously it's kind of like, yeah, I'm a cat guy and, you know, I'm not going to fucking worry about it. So I was just like, I definitely, I'm legitimately the guy that loves pondering those kinds of questions though. Because it starts off, you know, like with the baby Hitler and your family dog. And you got to choose between one, and then you got to deal with leaving the other one to its fate. So I was just like trying to figure out that whole situation, right? And then at the end, he's just like, I'm not gonna worry about it. I can't swim anyways. Fuck. He's still living life. I don't really know 100%. I'm not gonna act like I get the song because I'm still pondering it. But that's the beauty. It makes you think deeper. It keeps you wondering, and I like that. There's a certain philosophical aspect of thinking to this song, even though it's kind of dissing that thought process as well, in my opinion. I don't really know. Let's jam out though. We've already talked about this song, so we need to check out the new stuff.
And your family dog were both found drowning in a lake, and you could only rescue one because, well, that's never really been explained. Which pitiful creature would you condemn? Which of God's children would you save? And only when you stagger back to shore unforgivable mistake. There's someone in the future wishing upon a future star. Then they can shuffle back in time to precisely where you are. Sitting here bored, completely senseless, wishing you were somewhere else. Some phony brighter future, nostalgic story that we tell. I'm searching for the patterns in the noise. I'm paranoid. I'm seeing faces in the void. And in the void behind this face, the fragments falling into place. The lifeless children lined up on a sheet interrupts the revelry. Suddenly it all seems very clear, like I'm in a frontier town tableau. Abandoned home for all ye who enter here. Time to come to terms with mankind's default mode. I'll grab announcements, render patently absurd. By just the gentle prodding of above you's universe. So tell me, which pitiful creature would you condemn? Which of God's children would you save? As for me, I never learned to swim. Always been a cat guy anyways.
I feel like that, yeah, the ending just, I'm not sure. I like that song a lot, to be clear. I'm just still trying to comprehend the fucking song, I'm not going to lie to you. I just feel like a little bit, it's like a little nihilistic, at least the meaning I'm getting from it. But I don't know. I'm not, again, I haven't even heard this song yet, so we're going to keep it moving. No Longer Young. This is the third single they dropped. I have not heard this. I decided to wait until the album dropped, so let's get it.
Don't follow me. Don't ask where I'm going. Night falls. The seasons are changing and times are cold. And it might seem I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. Life on the line. At this point, what's left to say? We'll die in a world still at war. Did we really try? It might seem I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. I've been waiting so long. We've been waiting so long. We're no longer young. Sorry to hear, my friend. I hope that see you again. There are no chosen ones. We all return to dust. It's alright. We're invisible most of the time. I'll keep you in mind. But we're better off for God searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on, not returning. In my team, I've lost my way. I'm just out here searching, reviving the spirit I had, moving on.
All right. I mean, I feel like this song is just about rediscovery. You know what I mean? As you get older, you kind of, you change, and it's harder to get energy, as well as come to terms with what you've become and where you've come from in a weird freaking way. But that whole process, it wears on you. And there's a lot of stuff in the world that can make you bitter. And this kind of is like, to me, again, I don't have lyrics at all. So just trying to find that revitalization of youth, that youthful energy and angst, maybe. Not 100% sure, but it's good. I love the melodies. It's going in a playlist for sure. Rented PA.
One day you lose a step, next day a little more. Now panicking, regret are all you got in store. We have a simple choice to make. Love man, the decline or welcome it with grace. The metamorphosis, the dispossession of cravings that haunted you, kept telling you you are not enough. Why are we never enough? Never were much anyway, so many missteps, so much cringe and regret. It's too bad just as things finally getting interesting. It's time to go. Squeeze everything you can out of these fleeting years. Remember back when you were young, when I was your everything, your everyone. Now you're the beast patrolling your domain. What a gift, I'll watch you bloom, though I decay. Wish I could freeze this frame. When you finally lower me into that grave, take off to the great white door, sputtering out of origin PA. Spare a grab away with souls. I could use some help to find my way. Get back in your cars and get on with your days. Destiny awaits.
I like the flow of that. I don't know exactly what's going on lyrically. I'm not going to try to, even guess. But the guitars and the rhythm, the drums are actually really, really nice as well. I'm liking the kind of ebbs and flows we're having here, even if it does all kind of have a similar sound so far. That's fine. I think there's some like very subtle change ups that are keeping things fresh. I'm thrilled with it. Stargazing. Oh, that's a cool start.
Simply bought your way into someone else's life, aiming to make them in your image. Can't spend your days just struggling, trying to figure out how you can fit in someone else's dream, even when it seems it just might be worth pretending. Careful what you wish for in this world, there ain't too many happy endings. No one's angry. Being on their entangled journeys, no maps, no signage, a compass bearing a darkened highway. Stargazing, dream chasing. Now my little heart's racing. To the night, no destination.
I'll be honest, that's my favorite one besides At Peace so far. Like, I really like the different swap ups there. That the whole vibe just felt like a I don't know how to put it exactly, but it like stargazing. I had that like futuristic tinge, I guess would be the right way to put it. But I like those little just background elements. I kind of like how chill this was as well. Like, and it's a nice different sound than what we're getting. So far, I wish I had lyrics. That's the only complaint I have. That's the only complaint. I feel lost without lyrics. And you're just talking about navigating. No shit. I need some lyrics to navigate. Golly. I think Chuck took the brain cell with him when he left. God of Avarice.
I've had my doubts all along. Your head is bowed, but I don't believe you're really praying, 'cause I've seen no sign that you believe a single word you're mumbling. There's nothing that hints you've been touched by the light of an all-loving one, a god of empathy. me, a god of cruelty, I'll agree. Yeah, you're following faithfully, mocking from down below, sniveling in the shadows, a god of avarice, greed and gluttony, your darkest impulses, the fire's all consuming. To be saved by a final prayer, leaving all your sins behind, approaching the needle's eye, and dropping to endless fire. The dawn of avarice, greed and gluttony, your darkest impulses, the spite, the god of avarice, greed and gluttony, the darkest impulses, the fires all consuming.
Another one I really like here, and this is a little bit more up my alley with like punk, like hitting some hard subjects. Like I feel like right here we're talking about, you know, you claim your God is an empathetic God, then why aren't the followers reflective of that? If you're building his image, you know, it's kind of like poking at some of these things that you're like, okay, so if he is a empathetic God, why is everything so hateful? It's kind of the questioning along those lines I think we're getting here. But I do enjoy extreme greed and wealth for material gain. So maybe it's going after capitalism a little bit more so, and using that as a okay, that's a yeah. I'm gonna have to give this one a couple more listens. Yeah. Kind of a Trojan horse situation here, which I like. All right, yeah, no, this one just sounded really good. On top of the, again, we have lyrics that make me think. Pyro's happy. I was just complaining. We were listening to another punk record. I listened to it last night, and I was saying stuff about I wish we'd see a little bit more stuff into, like, I feel like a lot of punk rock that's coming out right now is more like concentrated on melodies, and rather than digging into some real subjects that need to be addressed and broke down and make you think. And a lot of punk bands are just kind of painting broad strokes instead of actually getting down to brass tacks and like digging into some of these issues that, you know, like there's so many problems going on in the world right now. So many terrible things. You have genocide in Palestine. You have, I brought up, you know, the homelessness along the entire West Coast and how that's all being worked out. And then you have the Trump fucking everything up. You know what I mean? Like I want to see some lyrics where we're really digging into some problems that address things that are happening in the world. Obviously, with Propagandhi, I don't know. I think they get very specific, and that's why I love them. So I'm not really using this here in a, like, I want to see more here, because I can't even tell you what's going on without looking at the lyrics and really breaking shit down, especially with how good this instrumental is. So this is not a shot, but I'm just saying punk rock in general. I think it needs to step it up. There's so much bad shit going on. Like, in the state I'm at, we had like Nazis protesting on bridges. You know what I mean? Like, and they were out. It was just a wild time to be alive. So I know that, yeah, I don't know. But I would love to see some punk bands in general that have new music coming out actually take some steps to help educate people. And that's what I love about punk music. Typically, you get your stuff that again, they paint, yeah, this is bad. This one whole umbrella thing's bad. But you get the bands like Propagandhi, Bad Religion, No Effects. They aren't afraid to dig into some stuff and break it down. And that's helped me as a person a lot. Just opening up my eyes to some of the things that I never had really even thought about it in a certain light before, right? And I love that about punk music because it does make you uncomfortable a lot of times, but at the end of the day, a lot of times you come away with something from it. So that's cool. Now, Prismatic Spray, that first part, I'm pretty sure is a Dungeons & Dragons spell. I could be wrong. But the second part of that is the Tinder date. Let's get into this. You guys don't want to hear me talk. You want to hear more. I love a song with Tornado Siren starts. War Sirens, maybe. Not Tornado.
Was midway through the second chain lift, a big thunder mountain road where I turned to my Tinder they flush with excitement of illumination, backlit by a prismatic spray of drones, adjacent to naughty animatronic gold. I said the intellectual depth that leads to wisdom and happiness has been discarded in favor of shallow forms of reflection and recall. She bit her lip and she took my hand as we crossed from frontier to adventureland. Heft of her breast strains against shirt. Her legs disappear into the curve of that skirt. Long ride and lean in this panoptic sprawl of delight. An abdication of the difficult choices in life. We see just what we want to see. Believe with all certainty. By the time you realize you're in the abyss, the more you try to shine a light, the darker it gets. Destiny manifests in every dark ride, until eventually you do agree was all justified. We see just what we want to see. Believe in any old fantasy. Within these earthen burns, the architecture reassures. Nostalgic, safe and warm. A mushroom cloud appears above the Matterhorn. Her hair is in flames, my flesh melts from the bone. Our skeletal remains left in a last century's pose. The inner workings of the machinery is exposed. It really wasn't so bad as far as Tinder dates go. We'll see just what we wanna see. Believe in whatever helps you sleep.
Interesting. So there was parts of that track that I wasn't a huge fan of how they, like, instrumentally, but like how they handled it. Some of the stops and goes were a little odd. It felt a little clunky to my ears, but there was parts of it that were great, and I do really enjoy the lyrics here because it does feel like we have some substance as well. I'll be damned if I know what the substance is. I'll be straight with that. I'll add that right to the playlist. Benito's Early Work.
Blood and soil, by any other name, it all turns out the same, but I'm immune. Benito's earlier work got distinctly different tone than that of the grand buffoon marching his worms through Rome. What can we infer from such crossings of the floor? I'm not sure it really matters anymore. Divination through the inspection of entrails of a society got completely off the rails. Optimal group side scaling ratio suggest what any goddamn half-wit could have guessed. My only remaining goal was to leave this world without actually killing someone. I find myself boring down. There's a Venn diagram emerging from the mist. I don't think you're gonna like what it suggests. Sometimes you must go too far to find out where your boundaries are. You say that God has chosen you. Well, I've been busy choosing too. When your deceptions finally fail, we will inspect the remaining entrails. Narcissistic Machiavellian, sadistic straight up Orwellian. Stand back, let's have a look at you. The little quiz thing that you turned into. Blood and soil, by any other name. You weaponized your pain. Destined to fail from the start. As most catastrophes are. Ancient contagions exude. Turns out that no one's immune.
Okay, I'm going to take a shot here. I'm going to take a shot at being at least what the theme is of this song or what we're talking about. I believe Benito is, he was one of the presidents for in Mexico. And I believe this is talking a lot about that whole situation. I'm not good at just pulling history stuff out of my pocket, but I do like reading about it. I just don't retain it worth a damn. So if I'm remembering correctly, Benito in the beginning was like, oh no, we're not even going to take a shot at this. I don't know if I can pull enough. Yeah, no, I'm not even going to try, but I believe that's what we're talking about a little bit here. And this is the depth I want. I want some depth like this. Feels like we're breaking down something. I want to, Benito was Mussolini? Oh, yeah, that would probably even make more sense, wouldn't it? Well, let's take a gander here. Him singing about I forgot about his first name. Know the last name. But yeah, I thought maybe he was talking about the, Mexican, the president from Mexico that he, I believe, helped the Americans oust the French. So I got to brush up on my goddamn history. I got to brush up on my history for sure. But yeah, that would make probably a lot more sense, talking about Mussolini's early work. Interesting. I want to break down the lyrics for that one as soon as those drop so I can understand what the hell's going on in that. Damn. All right. I like that one actually a lot too. That sound was really good. Vampires are real.
Dear.
Hold on. We already know this because John K. Sampson told us about the vampire in Alberta. Okay. So we already knew this Propagandhi. John K. Sampson beat you to it.
Dear Propagandhi, I am writing to let you know how much damage your...
By desire, as the fire's clouded by the smoke, as the mirror's clouded by the dust, all desire seeks to blind the soul. Put your torches and pitchforks away. The morning sun will come to spell the dark. Just leave it to the cold hard light of day. Before you try a mistake for someone's heart,
All right, I love the intro there. I love the outro, but the stuff in between, nothing really grabbed me. I don't know. Let's continue to fire season.
A shitty town cloaked in black sky. They promised us a setting more sci-fi. Trying to see beyond disease and blight. Hoping everything you love somehow survives. Somehow we've become resigned that our turn has come, knowing we are in a season of fire. Breathe into your lungs and feel it in your stress. Countless highways, sprawling cities, our roads all lead to violent days. Burning lungs, rising tides. Follow your heart. I've no advice. A sea of brilliant souls alight. A dying orange sun. Burning they run. This season of fire. Breathe into your lungs and feel it in your stress. Countless highways, crowded cities, the hours draining from your life. Burning lungs, rising tides. Follow your heart. I've no advice. Black skies, the birds are leaving, fleeing from the fires, a dismal sight, fighting off a bleak and endless night. While all those left below are burned alive. Believing that something lies ahead that puts to rest all the things following behind us, that somehow our pain will be relieved. A fading daydream.
Okay. Again, I mean, the instrumental's nice. Nothing's really popping though for me. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I shouldn't say nothing, but in that one, nothing really. There was some cool stuff again with the drums, guitar. Like I'm enjoying the instrumental almost more than I am the vocals. There's just not a lot of oomph from the vocals on these last couple tracks. I don't know. It could be a grower and not a shower too. We'll see here. Day by day.
lost here in the night. Destination out of reach. We ensure that some will die along the trail. Our God is not of charity. Feel it coming down. A test failed day by day. Are these the mysterious ways? Can't go wrong. The praising of tyrants. Follow along. The stories in the works. You thought that you'd be watching from the side. Are we the fortunate ones? Our colors slowly being erased. Day by day. Day by day. Day by day. The choices are beige and gray. Box stores, man-made lakes. Horizon set a block away. Can't go wrong. The praising of tyrants. Follow along. The stories in the works. You thought that you'd be watching from the side. Security and militarized cops. Borders, armies, nuclear bombs. Behind the walls, still no one feels safe. Can't go wrong. The praising of tyrants. Follow along. The stories in the works. You thought that you'd be watching. You thought that you'd be watching from the side.
That one smacked, and we had lots of lyrical content, which was fantastic. Already added that to a playlist. I will say that, like, throughout this entire album, each one of the instruments, the bass, drums, guitar, they just have been fantastic. I love where the quality is, like mixing production sound wise, and I like that the vocals are kind of a little farther like off from the microphone. It almost gives it a little bit more of a raw touch. But I will say the vocals also, besides like 2 songs where I think we actually had a different singer. I could be wrong there. You guys can correct me in the comments. But a lot of these songs I feel like are kind of mixing together for me because of the style of the vocals on these and the way he's singing. So yeah. Again, I really like Day by Day a lot as well, though. That was really solid. That one went in a playlist. Last track, guys. Last freaking track. You can rate this along with me. I dropped the link down in the chat for Album of the Year. That's where I just do most of my ratings. Yeah. Let's see what's up.
the ceiling in the darkness. Your mind is racing, repeating. Life is but a manic series of deflating failures when compared to the images that flash across the screen. What's the point of all this? What does any of it mean? Good question. I'd like the answer myself, but there's one thing that I know about you for sure. You were sent here with a gift, but the realm in which we exist seeks to dazzle, to confuse with every cheap tawdry ruse, till we forget what it is. Is not glory. The gift is not heroics or recognition. It's not the hatred our demonic leaders keep demanding. It's something so impossibly mundane, cannot be measured, it cannot be named. It's something so crucial to how things turn out. You were sent here with it to conquer chaos and doubt, but that great deceiver in your ear, laughing it all off with a sneer, ha! With a derisive discordant blast, terrified that one day you'll grasp. Creation don't make no trash.
Fantastic ending to this album. Fantastic. I could not be happier with that last track. And I also like that it is slowed down, kind of like the beginning track. I kind of want to go back and listen to that first track just to see if that sludgy sound that that on first listen, if this kind of matches up with it, really, because this kind of was slowed down too, but I didn't feel this was as like sludgy as the first track. Now, the hardest part of this initial reaction is Propagandhi has a lot of lyrical content that is very... That's honestly, like when we were talking about Benito, I immediately jumped to something different than Mussolini. Like my brain was like, what kind of little hole are these guys going down into? And I thought maybe this was like going to talk about like Mexico and U.S. relations of some sort. Again, like I thought we were talking about the president of Mexico. So I didn't even jump to Mussolini because it's such an obvious go-to. One of the big bad guys, right? So I think let's talk about average songs first. There was only maybe, let's see, I wasn't a huge fan of Fire Season and Vampires Aren't Real. I think Vampires Are Real to me might be the worst track on the album, if I had to pick one. But I'll be honest, the Prismatic Spray, I think this one on re-listen is going to be fine. But I was having a little bit of problems with, I don't know, this one just didn't pop for me. Rented PA didn't really smack for me. Those are probably my average tracks, okay? Let's talk about good tracks. I think these are solid tracks, but they're not the best of the best yet. Guiding Lights, fantastic. It's good. No Longer Young was also good in my opinion. God of Avarice. Actually, we're not going to mention that one yet because I like that one quite a bit. And then Day by Day, also in that good realm too. Now let's talk Great Realm. I really like that final track. I loved God of Avarice. I enjoyed Cat Guy might go in the good category for me. But was there another one? There was Stargazing. Stargazing was amazing. And then that final track was just great. And then the best track, though, in my opinion, is At Peace. At Peace, it could just be because I've heard it several times. But in my opinion, that is the star of this album, an LP. But I like how spread out the tracks I love are. They're not all in a row lined up in the beginning. We have some sprinkled in at the end. A lot of these I think will grow on me. But on to ratings for the entire album. Let's talk production. I loved where this was at. Again, I think the instruments sounded perfect on all levels. Even when things weren't grabbing me, where we had production, like the production was wonderful. The mixing was great. I would have liked to see a little bit more of that bouncing in and out of one ear, like one ear to the other ear, just to keep things fresh throughout. I think we saw more of that in the beginning of the album than we did the end. But maybe I have to re-listen. And again, the vocals being a little ways back added a little grit and rawness to this project, and I appreciated that, so it didn't sound like over polished. Instrumentally, this was really well done. I love all the stop and goes, and again, some of the stuff did kind of in my brain kind of merge together in sound, even though it was like different, obvious different stuff going on in each track. Yeah, I think it was more so the guitar tone kind of added to that samey feel, as well as the vocals. Even though we had a change up through, like I said, I think 2 of the songs, there was a different singer. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, so you're going to have to forgive me. But all in all, I think lyrically, this is going to really pop on some more listens, and I can actually break this down. Again, Cat Guy and At Peace did that for me, so I think the rest of this album will also do that same amount of contemplating, which is what I want from Propagandhi. I'm not going in here as much as I want them to kick ass and take names. I kind of appreciate their subtle lyrics, and when I say subtle, I'm saying that you don't know what the fuck they're talking about a lot of times until you start really digging into stuff, and you're like, oh my god, the depth of this is nuts. So they're always not always, I shouldn't say always, but some of my favorite songs by them, they're talking about such a specific thing that you're like, I don't think I would have ever known without looking it up and understanding what the point of view was. So I always appreciated that about them, but it makes for a hard initial reaction. I think this is a good album. I think I'm going to rate it a 6.9 as a whole. That could go up or down on, further listens. We never know. But I personally think it'll grow, just being that I'll come to some understanding of some of these lyrics, and I can jump into discourse on wherever, pretty much on the internet, where the punks are going to be talking about this. So shout out to Propagandhi. This is definitely a solid album, and I appreciate you guys hanging out with me as we check this out. I would really appreciate if you could drop your opinions on not only just mainly this album. Like let's keep it simple. Like obviously we all kind of like Propagandhi to one element or another, but what are your thoughts on this album? What are your personal ratings? That being said, you guys know the deal. If you enjoyed the music, get your asses over there to their website, buy some merch if you can afford it. That being said, buy some tickets. I saw they just had to cancel all their U.S. stuff, which made me incredibly sad as a U.S. citizen. But we all know what that's about. Old Donald ruined all the fucking fun. So, yeah, make sure you go over and support the band if you enjoyed this content. Okay, that's very, very important to me, especially when we have bands that are cool enough to not block reactions and reviews like this, and they deserve, some love for their stuff. So it's not just being they should be getting something from this. Very nice art. So that being said, if you're still around, do me a solid, hit the like or the dislike. Either way, drop a comment again what your thoughts and opinions are. I'm Pyro Slays Music, and I hope you guys enjoyed this album as much as I did. Peace.